So thank you for joining us for this week's ETRO U session. This session will be run by Craig, and this is for a new process that we are rolling out for all projects. The intent, as always, is not to add to your workload, so as much automation as possible has been created by Marcelo. He's continuing to work on improving this, and as always, your feedback, you can come to either me, Craig, or Marcelo, and we will continue to improve this process as you guys provide feedback. But Craig, I'll turn it over to you now. Please take us through what these project reports are going to look like.
Okay, thanks, Karina. Everyone, if everyone doesn't know me, I'm Craig. We haven't met. I'm a project director here at ETRO. Today we are talking about weekly and monthly project update reports. So let me share my slides here. Okay, everyone can see that?
Good to go.
Okay. So learning objectives. So the weekly and monthly project reports. So basically, so what are they? So these will be an automatically generated email that'll go up to the PMs of every project at the end of every week. And so basically just to fill in, so first step, you'll confirm the populated information is correct, and you'll complete the remainder of the form, save it, and then you'll send it. So a lot of this instruction will be in the emails that you guys will get every week. And then who to send it, every report will go to Mike and Dan, and then depending on who else, maybe to your project director or me or Karina, well, the who to send it to will all be in the instruction email. Oops, so, oh, sorry. So why we're doing it. So it's going to create some reporting consistency among our projects and current and open communication, so everyone is up to speed, knows what's going on. Early discovery of potential issues, and it'll be a valuable tracking tool. So the idea is that we'll save these, you go backtrack a year, it'll be good use for when we close out the jobs and learning objectives and all that. So that's the main ideas. Why? And right now where we're struggling. So some jobs we're struggling on early recognition of potential problems, holding consultants and owners accountable for late RFI and submittal responses, and change order sign-off. Closing out observations and deficiencies promptly. A lot of times we're finding these lingering, and forecasting. So understanding where the costs are trending and why it's happening. And so now into the report. So sorry, let me just change my layout here for a second. All right, okay. So you guys can see this. Sorry, it's on my screen, so it's a little small. So here's the weekly project report. So the steps. So the first thing, as mentioned, so we'll check that the auto-populated cells are correct. So here, so Barry, we're using yours as an example here at UBC. So just check your job number, everything's date's correct. So the auto-populated will be up here in your RFIs, submittal, observations. So just make sure that's correct. And then Marcelo set some formatting in here with, certain values will be green or yellow or red, depending on how extreme or how outstanding items are. And then fill in the safety stats. So you have to go through the safety stats, won't be self-populated, so you'll have to go in and fill those out. And the PCs and PCIs and financial information. So main part of this one, we just want to see the number of number of PCIs or pricing that's with ETRO. That could be trade claims or anything on SIs, and the total value. And we'll probably update this to like a total estimated value. Just want to know what's outstanding is extra on the job that hasn't been submitted to an owner yet. And the next part is the ones that are with the owner. So number of PCIs with the owner, total value. And then important to know, we added this in for a little timeline duration. So is the total value within 0 to 30 days? Is it new? Is it 2 months old, or is it 60 plus days? Are these 3 or 4 month old change orders that are with the owner that haven't been approved? So these will be formatted to highlight in certain colors. So red flags to us, to Mike and Dan and me, and obviously we want to know if owners aren't signing off on your change orders, and we want to know this early, and these could facilitate meetings and future project discussions and all that. The next update, you schedule occupancy information. You have some populated information here of the original contract. And then I don't know, and then so this is more of a fill in. If this automatically fills in, I'm not sure. Marcel, you can interject here, but I think your scheduled occupancy might pull off a EMT, or it might add your delay dates. But we want to know more on what is happening on the job and what you guys perceive as your estimated occupancy date, and what that difference is. And from that difference, we want to know how much of that time has been approved by the owner. So say you think you're going to be 30 days delayed because of something that's currently happening or going to happen, and that 30 days is here, but you only have 10 days signed off by an owner through signing change orders. So that's something that we want to know of, what is that slippage? And maybe some of there's some of these pending PCIs that actually have time delay in them that just haven't been signed yet. So that's where things would lead into the final section at the bottom, just any issues worth mentioning. So there's explanation in here about cost related items. There's scheduled concerns that hasn't delayed the job, it's coming up, or there's problems with a subcontractor or with an owner or consultants. Just is where we really want to expand and add on to this. You guys can add more, obviously add more lines as needed. So that's the weekly report, and then to the monthly report. So it's basically exactly the same thing, except each month the automatically generated email that will come out before your forecasting meeting with Dan and your project director. It's just adding this one section in the middle here. So basically it's a budget upload. It'll be kind of your ETRO profit. So it's your ETRO profit at your budget upload, and then your currently perceived profit as you guys are going through and forecasting and cutting the fat out of a bunch of your cost codes, and what do you think is left, and then how that's changed from the last month. So this is stuff that you guys have to populate, and then the reasons. So the biggest thing I found in the last bunch of forecast meetings is the forecast profit has changed, and it's plus or minus, and we don't really know why. That's me that goes through adds and deletes for 20 or 30 different cost codes. So we want to know the major differences. So if this has gone up, if this is reduced by $50,000, what are the reasons? Why is it time delay, or it was a missed scope, or something that we perceived pick up on, we didn't get as much as we thought. So items like that, and then billing out the rest as in the weekly report. So some notes on these. So basically, Marcelo will expand as we send these out, and there'll be more information, but the self-populated information is coming from Procore and from EMT. So we just want to make sure that you guys need to make sure that information is current and up to date. One thing when you're assigned to a job as a PM, first step, as Marcel said, these are automatically generated. If there isn't a PM named in Procore, this won't even go out. So that's like one of the first things you guys need to do when you're assigned to a job, and even before you update any drawings or anything else in Procore, just make sure that the site team is set up. And right now we're anticipating just this first weekly email to go out and the next week, or possibly this week. Marcel, we can have a talk about that, and then update, and then some of the templating and formatting for the monthly report, and see if we can link in some CMIC information in there as anticipated for January. And that was it. Nice and easy. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Craig, it's Mohammed here.
Hi.
I have a question regarding, so is there going to be another session just going through how to populate this form when it actually comes out?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory, Mohammed. Like the information at the top will be already there off of Procore, like the number of RFIs outstanding and submittals outstanding, and that stuff that we talk about all the time anyway.
Yeah.
The only thing you're populating is really just your CMIC, like we talked about before when you're doing your monthly forecast, is you'll update that information just on a quick tab. So it's all in one place, and then we'll save them all on the project file, so we can easily rather than going through a full 14-page monthly report and opening that and going to the bottom line and seeing what the profit was and comparing it, like we'll have these reports that are small, like one pages. It will be very easy for me or Mike or Dan or Luca or whoever to quickly go in and see what the information looked like last March and then this November. It's very easy to track this stuff, but the actual filling in the form is very self-explanatory.
And Mohammed, these are just in Google Sheets, so there's no new software you need to learn or anything. And it's hard coded by Marcelo, so you just put in some numbers and some information under issues. You type in what the issues are, and you're good to go.
So when it's ready, it'll be available on in the masters folder, I'm assuming.
Yeah. You'll get an automatic email. Like the email will come to you, and it'll be that here's your form, and it'll be the updated form for that week, and you'll just save it on project files. We'll set up a project file location. I think it'll be in section 11 with with cost reports. It's called the cost and project reports. Create a folder in there, and then you'll have them ordered by date.
Yeah, so you don't have to find the template. This template for your project, it's already populated and emailed directly to the project manager on Fridays.
Thank you.
Yeah, it should be in the PM's inbox basically before they come to work on Friday, and then they kind of have the morning to fill in the stuff that needs to be entered by the project team, and then send to your project director by kind of lunchtime on Friday. I think is the goal. Craig, I just sent the one to you from Brightside from last week. I don't know if maybe now that you're sharing your screen, you just want to open it just so everybody can see like what the kind of email and the report will look like when it hits their inbox.
Okay. Oops, sorry.
It's changed a little bit based on some of the modifications that were made to the form this week, but it at least gives an idea of the level of information that's automatically populated.
Yeah. Sorry, let me just stop and then I'll share it again. Yeah, so here. Yeah, so you guys will get this, early Friday morning, you'll get this automatic email with a link, basically to your form. And then the instruction, this one's like send to Mike, copying Dan, Craig, and Karina by noon. And then just making sure that information is correct. And if information isn't correct, there's a little click here for an ETRO IT help in case it's not pulling off your Procore or EMT correctly, or there's some kind of errors.
Craig, it's important to do that. If you reply to this email, it will go directly to me only. But if you click on the ETRO IT, it will go to the IT team and everybody can start working on the issue. So again, do not reply directly. Just click on the IT link and a new email will be open, please. Thank you.
Sure. Jane, you got a question?
Yeah, just on the weekly report. So our team meetings pretty much cover everything even more in depth that's required for the weekly report. Are we kind of laying off a little bit with the level of detail in our team meeting minutes?
No, team meeting, you do what you're doing this is more of a centralized single page highlight. So that's for Mike and Dan and me, or feel like can't get to the job sites. It's more for us just to see early stage and in your weekly meeting where you're not updated, or your own meetings where you might not be updated in the form, we'd expect notes in there like hey, it's critical, or we just want to be able to track and and figure out if there's a need for help.
Sure.
Highlight red flags. If there's something going on that we recognize that's maybe just happened on another job that you don't know anything about, we're like, oh, okay, this just happened. Let's touch base with the project team and figure out what's going on and see where we can help.
Gotcha. Okay.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, thanks everyone. ETRO Way is also being updated with this report and how it will work. So when we send out the recording for this session, we'll include the way to ETRO Way link so everybody can review the process that's expected, and you have both video and the written form. And thank you everyone for joining us, and as always, reach out if you have any other questions.